So I want to start by saying I really appreciate you for hopping in on this call with me to have a little bit chit chat because I
Yeah.
always love to know, how your end of this service looked like, how my coaching
hmm
looked like. So if you don't mind me asking, like if you were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, um, how would you rate it?
Uh, so you want to say, I'd say it's, I don't have a lot of comparison points. That's the first thing I want to say, because it's the first time I do this, like an actual coach that I
Okay.
pay. But I would say, I think there's definitely room for improvement, but I think the service was overall quite good. I'd say it's a solid 8 for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm curious,
Yeah.
what makes it an 8 and not like a 7 or less?
Um, I was, uh, I was very happy with um there's a couple things. So I was really happy with the content of the modules. I thought they were well structured in terms of what each module was approaching and also in terms of the progression between modules. So each module kind of built on top of the previous one.
Mhm.
Um, there was a lot of ideas I had already been exposed to, just like in reading books and everything. But the way they were all put together, I think really helped me kind of cement the whole thing, and it just started making more sense. And I feel like I was able to integrate those ideas much more, and apply them as well through the exercises, which is something I think most people usually skip, right? You book and you have these new ideas, but you fail to really apply them. So that really helped. And so I can only imagine someone who's never been exposed to these ideas, like how good that curriculum can be.
I
So yeah,
appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah,
And like
yeah.
if you were to maybe recommend my services to someone, what would you tell them about working with me as a coach?
I think I definitely I think it I think if I were to recommend your services, it'd probably be to technical people, right? Engineers. And I think this is what you're also targeting. And I think I would tell them, I mean, you're a great person. And I think that's the most important thing is just like the modules are fun and everything, but if at the end of the day, it was someone who's not super engaged or, is not that smart or something like that, I think that's the main value proposition is just talking to someone who understands the reality of being an engineer, and can kind of expose you to everything that is non-technical but super important to a good career in engineering or entrepreneurship, right? In a tech environment. So I'd say Dagna is just a great person, and you're like you have a very like people first approach. I found, and one example is that is you kind of adapted the curriculum, especially at the end with the last module. It was like, look, this wouldn't make sense for you, so we're not going to do it. Right? And I think that kind of supports that, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I so appreciate your kind words. Now, one last thing that I want to ask you
hmm
in terms of feedback is what could you tell about your results? What, you were coming in with hopes of and what you got out
Yeah.
of the coaching.
I think I got a couple different things. The first one and the one that was, I think, the most important to me, um, was having someone to talk to, um, and having like a safe space. So I don't want to say it's not like you're not like a therapist, right? But you kind of create the same kind of environment where it's very easy to just communicate, and you actually encourage me to kind of open up, and I think that did a lot of good, especially um, like I was going through a difficult phase, I think, in my professional and personal life because I'm an entrepreneur. So the boundary between professional and personal kind of mixes easily.
Mhm.
Um, but I was dealing with a lot of like doubts, and just not being sure, kind of wanting. I think deep down I really knew what I wanted, but it was a lot of like unpacking, and so just having someone to kind of accompany me through that process, Even if, at the end of the day, I did most of the work, and that's necessary in terms of like I had to sit down and reflect and think about things, but you were kind of always pointing me, hey, this is, you should maybe try that, or try, framing it that way, or try this exercise, pay attention to what this means to you, or that kind of experiences. And so that was the big one, is just like getting through this phase of my life with someone made a huge difference. And so that was one of the big outcome. And then I think another big outcome is just helping me. I feel like I have better tools now. So it's like I feel more confident, say something similar happened in a couple of years, right? And I'm living through a big transition like this. I feel like I have some tooling in place now, that I can at least start using, right? And so that kind of taps into what I was saying, like some of the ideas I had already been exposed to, but going through this phase, and seeing, oh, this, these things I read, 5 years ago, this is what it's for, right? This is the kind of moments where it shines the most, right? And so I feel like I would be much more, like my ability to deal with something similar, like that kind of hardship in the future, I feel has gone up quite a bit. And that's going to stay with me, right? So it's not just being accompanied through this specific period of my life, but also learning and acquiring new skills and tools that are going to help me in the future.
So I like
So
to
those
think
are,
that it's like building a
yeah,
foundation for really the rest of your
yeah,
life. Because whatever we
yeah,
do with
exactly.
coaching,
Yeah.
obviously we want it to
Hmm.
make it beneficial for whatever is next for you. But I
Yeah.
love how you're highlighting the fact that it's not just for now, not just for this
Hmm.
transition, it's for wherever you're going to go going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
There's definitely something that sticks, that's for sure. And that's a big, takeaway. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing this, Antoine. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
And actually, I'm thinking just now that your video testimonial was phenomenal. So I kind of want to see if would you agree if I shared it on my social?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
No worries. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much because I had a lot of fun working with you as well, and I think
Hmm.
you're a great client, and I loved working with you, Antoine. And I can see that there's a lot of huge potential within you.
Yeah. Oh,
And
thank you.
with
Yeah.
what was my goal for us working together is to help you tap into what's already here, what's already inside
Hmm.
of you. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what the future holds for you. And I want to also say thank you for working with me.
Yeah, I think it was a really good experience for me. So thank you as well. And I don't know, maybe I'll reach out in the future. Maybe I'll need more help for something else. So yeah, I really enjoyed communicating with you over these months. And yeah, so thank you a lot.
Awesome.
All right, thank you, Dagna. Have a good one.